What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast 5-year anniversary special, and I am joined by an entire cast of characters today. So, and now my sound is playing through my speakers, and we're off to a great start. All right. So, this is going to be a fun one today. We're taking a week off of the news cycle, and we're just going to have a good chat about gaming in general. Thanks, Dan. So I'm going to start with my partner in crime here for the free stuff. You're not eligible, by the way.
That's garbage. That is some straight up garbage.
So
what's up, everybody? Good to see everybody here. It's awesome. I've been kind of looking forward to this one for a long time. So
yes, in fact, I know we're just starting, but I already said that this is going to have to happen more than just this one time for sure. Because this is going to be a lot of fun. So, we've got a lot to just kind of talk about. We're going to be talking about our gaming histories, what got us into gaming, what drove a lot of us to create content, be involved with SG or other outlets. So it's going to be fun. We've got some giveaways to do as well. We're going to announce the winner of our Cyberpunk and Immortals Phoenix Rising giveaways. And we're also going to be giving away 2 separate codes for 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate each. So we'll pick those as we go on here. And Elu's already left us. He's already bored. You just wanted to be in a different square?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Now who's on the bottom?
All right.
Well, you're both on the left, so.
So what's going on, Chad? Good to see regulars. Thank you for joining us right at the start. Really appreciate it. So everyone knows Dan, and I think all of our audience knows everyone individually here, but we're going to just go around the horn with introductions real quick. So I'm just going to go literally around here. So I'm going to start first with Agitated Stove, which is just one of those names that I've always found hilarious. That's Steve Esposito. And Steve and I, we were laughing the other day because years ago now, it's been a few years. I think we met on Reddit, and I happened to ask you for feedback on some things with the Bitcast and Season Gaming at the time. And you gave me some honest feedback, which was always appreciated. So it's good to have gotten to know you better, man, and welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was
next up. Nope. Oh, go ahead. No, go.
No, it was interesting to see. Ever since I followed it, I was very interested in what you guys have been doing, and you guys came a long way. And I'm like very impressed with how everything's gone. I'm glad.
Thank you. Yes, I'm impressed, surprised. There's a whole host of adjectives we could use, but I'll move over to Nate, Mr. Pork Pants, another name we're filled with great names here at Season Game. Nate, his first ever podcast, first show ever. So please welcome him to the show, and another new contributor to Season Gaming. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you as well, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, great. I've loved the Season Gaming group. You guys have all been awesome. It's just been just a great group that we can just talk about anything, games, hardware, life, pets, cats.
Yes, our chat was pretty much the cat chat this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. I should have loaded up that picture with the cat sitting behind me for the thing today. Going down here is him as Direct Gaming. Yes, Direct Gaming, our representation all the way across the world in Australia, and the main reason that we are coming to you late today because it's very early for him. So, Elliot Porter, welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us today.
No worries. It's so awesome to finally be able to be on the show, and not at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever the usual time is. So, it's a pleasure. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Fantastic. I love the Like a Dragon banner. Just keep that reminder fresh for Dan all episode long.
What?
Next up is, you know him as KD. We know him as Carl. He's been on the show before. One of our regulars, and also, I would say, our tech head here at Season Gaming, and the most knowledgeable in that regard. And so whenever we have questions, especially about RDNA 2, direct them to Carl. What's up, mate?
I'm good, guys. Yeah, all good.
Also part of SG Worldwide, hanging out across the pond.
Yeah, here in Lancashire, England. What time is it? 6 minutes past 9 where I am right now.
Man, we've got the whole gamut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Morning to night, we got it covered.
Are your daughters watching, Carl? Are they?
I think the little one is. I've tried to just plow her with some chocolate. Hope she just like feels over.
That's the opposite of what you need to give her at
Yeah.
6 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, well, I didn't mention the time I gave her. You know?
Oh man.
Oh man. All right. I'll go bottom left. So over to AKA Phasma. You know her as Angela. She's been on Gaming Beyond the Box, and that's where Dan and I originally met Angela. And another new contributor to Season Gaming, and she's got a hell of an article coming for you this week, which should be a lot of fun as well. Welcome to the Bitcast for the first time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Be nice to me with my article.
Oh, it can't be that controversial as other things.
And last but certainly not least, our friend Elu Spook, who joined us actually for our Last of Us 2 spoiler cast previously. I would say our lead editor here for any serious article, and a tremendous writer in his own right. Another pleasure and new contributor this year to join us. Patrick, what is happening, my friend?
Not much. Glad to be here with the Ainsley bunch. And excited to talk about all of
Ainsley bunch.
I can't have that.
That show is never coming out of pilot.
I'd watch it.
I think PBS is, pretty interested though. So it'll be good. We'll get her.
Oh man, let me get to some of these super chats real quick. Where we at? So start with Sarko, my good friend. Slightly irksome. The amount isn't $5 even for the 5-year anniversary, but I guess it's a gift for me. Being slightly off is apropos as a MF. Yes, very true. Thank you, Sark. Man, always appreciated. Good to see you. I don't want to miss any here. Bear with me. Cloud. So Cloud, another SG contributor who was hopefully going to join us today, but ended up not being able to, which is a shame, Cloud, because you would have made the perfect Brady Bunch or Ainsley Bunch squares here. So, but regardless, thank you for the super chat. Here's to 7. Oh, damn it. We're starting already with this.
I appreciate that, Claude.
Oh, where am I? Oh, man, Cog, what is happening, man? Lords of Season Gaming salute. Happy anniversary to you all. Lognet and IMP salute to high quality writing. Thank you so much, man. One of our, obviously, one of our favorite groups of people in the industry and true friends over there at Iron Lords. So thank you very much. And it wouldn't be a show without a super chat from Pampa. And Pampa, this is way too much of a super chat, but I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Happy anniversary to you all, people. Love SG. Keep up all the great work. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We were just talking about you, Pampa, prior to the show because someone asked if Cyberpunk Collector's Editions were being delivered early. And I said, we thought yours was, but sadly it got shipped back. So not that we have to cover that. His Cyberpunk Collector's Edition was supposed to be delivered yesterday, and FedEx stopped it and shipped it back.
Son of a bitch.
Straight on to Mr. Hanks now.
How does he do that garbage, man? Didn't he get his X early?
He did get his X early. I'm actually moving to his zip code.
Yeah, I know.
as
We
we
need
speak. Thank you as always, Papa, man. Greatly appreciated. All right. So like I said, this is going to be an open format show. Just, getting to know some of the contributors more, where they come from, their history with gaming. It goes without saying. Well, maybe it doesn't go without saying, but, the people that contribute to Season Gaming are seasoned, for lack of a better word, but we come from a diverse background, but all very familiar with just decades of gaming, different platforms. And, I think it makes a difference in the type of stuff we produce. So one of the first things I wanted to ask, which we typically ask of new guests to the show, is really just what first got you into gaming? When you look back at your history, what stands out to you as the thing that really made you look at video games as something that you truly, truly enjoyed and wanted to be a part of? So, like I said, open conversation, guys. Whoever wants to kick us off.
Do we raise hands? Is that
With 8 people on the show, the host has a lot less to do, so I'm just going to sit back and drink a beer.
I'll go first. I started gaming as a little kid. I'm aging myself, but I was playing Atari in the 80s and loving it. I still just fond memories of those, those Atari games. Like those are the days. But
do you have a game on Atari that jumps out, like in your mind?
Yar's Revenge.
Yes.
Oh, that was
Such a good one.
Great.
What was it called? Metroidvania? Is that what it's called?
Metroid on Atari? I
Metroid?
don't think so.
No. What was it
Mega
called?
Mania.
Megamania. Thank you.
Megamania.
That was my favorite.
Mega Mania. Yep. Yep.
Megamania. Thank you. That was my favorite as a kid. I like the fishing game in Kaboom. But from there, we got Nintendo, Super Nintendo. We pretty much had all the consoles.
Nice.
GameCube was my favorite. And then my ex brought home a PS3 one day. When he left, I made him leave it. It was mine. And that's it. From there, gaming is my life. I don't know life without it. And
Awesome. All right. Who's raising their hand next?
I guess that'll be me.
There you go.
Let's see. Started gaming when like a kid, like always. Introduced to the Nintendo at first, but when I got the Sega Genesis, that's when my life changed.
Yes.
Like Sonic 2, like that game, all-time favorite. I could play that game over and over again. But that was when I was a kid. That's where it started, and even I got my grandparents into gaming. Like that's the game that got my whole family to try to get the high score and beat each other. like when my grandmother beat me, she like rubbed it in my face. I was like, "Damn it, like I'm 7."
That's fantastic.
I want to say something real quick. To Hazard of Gaming, you said I'm an avid reader of seasoned gaming articles, really good stuff. We appreciate that so much. I mean, we do it for the passion. Everybody here, it's a big part of what we do. We're not in it for really anything else except for how much we love games, and it's just such a joy and passion to do that. So thank you for reading the stuff that we put out there. We hope that it's getting some good love from you guys. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and Haz is he's been an avid supporter. He's a good dude. So definitely, yeah. And he creates some of his own stuff and supports a lot of creators as well. So good to see Haz.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. I think a lot of our stories are going to be pretty similar since we're all pretty seasoned here. We're going to start out with Commodore or Atari or ColecoVision and just tell you all the tales about favorite games as we went through. But I mean, that's kind of the fun, isn't it? So I'll just say that, just like most everyone here, I started with Atari and ColecoVision. I can remember a few standout games, Akari Warriors.
Brilliant.
On Nintendo. Carnival. I saw someone mention Moon Patrol in the chat. Yeah, I love Moon Patrol. There's so many classics. I mean, just to sit here and just mention all of them is just a lot of fun for all of us, and that just kind of tells you where we're at with the passion of what we do. We love it. We love the games. We talk about them years later. We have all these fond memories, and there's no other medium that you can really do that with that's so tangible as video games. And so talking about it with all you guys is going to be a lot of fun.
And you have a way of wording things, Elu, that's always different but awesome. That was very well said.
Usually better at writing than I am talking, but yeah.
No, it's good. By the way, Real Sergeant Tom, good to see that I'm seasoned. I like that better than just being gold. Yeah, I was gonna go with old gaming, but it just didn't sound like a good name of a site.
I think I'm again really similar to everyone else, but I started playing on, I don't know if it was a Commodore or something like that, but then it was really the Super Nintendo that completely changed my life, I guess, in the way of how much I love games. We got the SNES with Donkey Kong Country 3 for Christmas one year, me and my brother, and it's just was still one of my favorite games of all time. We finished it 100% and got every single thing in that game, and it was just something me and my brother loved to death. Also played 64 religiously with my dad, and just hours and hours of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and just Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, and then just kind of went from there and just never stopped. I think the 360 was probably the one that really got me right into story games and all that kind of stuff. But it was definitely the SNES for me that was a game changer.
I think am I correct in saying that I always fascinated by the different markets for the systems, right? So being in Australia, it's completely different perspective on sales and everything. But I'm pretty sure Xbox 360 was so popular in Australia that really cemented Xbox as a brand over there, right?
Yeah,
Is that
I think
accurate?
so. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think the original Xbox definitely, like, a few of my friends had it, but then like every person I knew had a 360.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of ubiquitous. It's like almost now with the PS4, like everybody has a PS4 that I know. But it was like that for the 360. It was awesome. And I got one almost late into the generation. I think it was like around 2009.
Oh no.
I had like a few years with like playing PS2 and not really like attaching myself to anything. But then, when I got the 360, it was like, oh, everybody's got these things.
Nice. By the way, this whole musical squares that we're playing, I don't think it was planned. We're not doing this on purpose.
Can somebody just leave and then come back in again so I'm not on the bottom?
It's just Dan trying to get to the top, you know?
Hey, I'm just chilling. Wherever I end up, that's where I end up.
Well, you're on the right now, so that's usual.
That
was
better. That was silly me hitting the login button, thinking it wouldn't just kick me out of the whole thing. So
that's what I did too. That's what I did.
No, when it comes to gaming, I'm going to date myself here. So I had a local computer from Wales in 1982. So I had a Dragon 32, which was essentially a Tandy machine.
Yeah. Oh, I had a Tandy 1000, my first PC.
Yeah, it's the same version, it's a repackaged called the Dragon 32. So I had one of them, and then
naturally the computer from Wales had to have a dragon in its name.
Then, can I talk to you about Atari?
Beautiful.
There it is.
This thing here, it's not on my original Atari, but this is one that I bought off eBay and reconditioned. But this thing got me into gaming in a big way. And it also got me into the demo scene. It got me, I don't know if you ever remember, if anyone had an Amiga, there was always menus at the start of games where you had multiple games on a disc.
Yep.
Yeah, I was that guy who sort of created menus and stuff. So yeah, this really got me into gaming back in the day and trying to make menus and trying to have a go at demos and coding and little bits like that. But that was the main machine was the Atari. Then I've got to say the SNES was the next one and the next big one. Definitely the SNES. Yeah, and then I got a Mega Drive for a little bit, but then I thought I was cheating, so I went back to the SNES.
Nice.
Yeah,
that wasn't as big as the PS5 though. That was close.
But yeah, that was it. So and games wise, oh god, Lemmings.
Yeah.
Christmas Lemmings.
Just every different variation of Lemmings.
Yeah. And then sorry, we won't go there with that one. But yeah. Oh good.
Yeah, and kind of similar to everyone else, I started in the Atari era. My dad had a 7800. I had a 2600 at home. Played a ton of Adventure and Berserk and Combat. I think were probably my top 3 games.
Okay.
I remember my brother and I would we would try and just break the games. Like we would just hammer that power switch on and off, and every now and then you get lucky and have some weird glitch version of the game. I remember getting my NES used at I think it was like a tag sale or like a flea market for like $5. and that just kind of took it off, like I got a few years after everyone, I was psyched to have Mario finally. And then, like a couple of the other guys, the SNES was my first real system that I bought myself, fell in love with Final Fantasy, 2 and 3 in the US.
Classic.
Still probably top 5 games of all time for me.
Oh, good. Mm.
And I've owned, I think, every major console outside of the PS4, actually. So,
wow. And it's kind of a funny one of all the consoles not to have owned, given its popularity.
Yep. Yeah, that was just a adult time. I was like, I got to pick one. I loved that. I loved the PlayStation. just ran out of time to play everything.
Sure. Yeah, completely understand. Mike's in the chat. What's up, Mike? And funny enough, yeah, we're talking about the Tandy 1000, man. My first PC.
Oh, nice.
And then we had the upgrade to the Tandy 3000, which was mind blowing. And by mind blowing, I mean it wasn't much of an upgrade at all. But awesome. Well, so easy transition then. And you kind of touched on some of that, Nate, there with Final Fantasy 2 and 3, because honestly, some of my greatest memories either. But I wanted to hear, people have games impact them in different ways depending on what they've been through in life and their experiences and timing and all these other things. And I'd love to hear from you guys, because Dan and I talk too much every week as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear from you guys, some of your favorite memories, like what game really did something to you? What moment in your gaming history stands out to you? That type of thing. So yeah, man, let's hear it. Because I always find these interesting.
I guess I can jump in first with that one.
Sure.
This is kind of like a really personal thing. But when I was younger, and my grandmother passed away right around Easter, my whole family came together, and this was probably the last time my whole family did come together. So my cousins came over, and I had a PlayStation. They had a Nintendo 64. So for a week straight, all we did was we would play some PlayStation games, we would play some Nintendo 64 games going back and forth, and Twisted Metal 2 got like constantly on rotation, right? And we rented it from Blockbuster.
Oof.
So yeah. So
Yes.
my dad, we were playing it so much. My dad's like, "Why am I gonna keep on renting it? I'll just straight up buy it." So he calls up and he goes, "Hey, like, how much is it for this game?" And they told him like $70.
Yeah.
So he's like, "If I want to keep it," and they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "What happens if I lose it?" And they're like, "Oh, you only have to pay $20." He goes, "All right, I just lost the game. I don't know." But like that whole week of like with my family and like really like that was the last time I really enjoyed gaming at a young age. Like we played everything from Mario to Star Fox, every single game we wanted to play. Like we were able to. It was just so great. And then that Christmas after, my parents ended up getting us a Nintendo 64 as well, and we had both those systems, and it was a big memory for me, and it always stands out forever well just because of how everything happened. So that's mine.
Amazing. No, thanks for sharing that, man. That's awesome. So let me shout out to Diego real quick. He first of all, he said, "Did anyone play the Snail Maze game that came built into the Sega Master System?" Yes, I sure did. It is, if you're not aware of what he's talking about, the Sega Master System had a game that was built into the hardware, but that you didn't know. You actually had to hold certain buttons down on the controller, if I remember correctly. And when you turn the system on, it would load into the game. And it was literally just this little maze game. You can still do that today if you plug your Master System in. It's really cool. So, yeah, that's funny. But I want to give a shout out to Diego. Everyone here knows Diego who watches our show. But he is the one, as always, who deals with our season gaming designs and shirts and everything else. And he created this 5-year design you can see me wearing, which I also have right here, which is just fantastic. So, Diego, cheers to you, man. Thanks for everything you do for us. Beautiful. And, we've got a few surprises coming in the very near future as well. So continued new stuff. All right. And then there was one other comment I wanted to call out to Bizzle, another regular, one of our favorites around here. My love of gaming started with the old Sierra games. Used to watch my mom play King's Quest and Space Quest. Absolute classics. Absolute classics. So I was a huge King's Quest, Space Quest, and Police Quest fan. It would be really cool to see, it'd be kind of funny to go back and try and play King's Quest 1 now. Because good Lord. But that's what I would play on my Tandy computers, King's Quest, Space Quest.
Yep.
So very cool. All right.
Sierra.
Go for it. Who's up?
Oh God, I think game that changed me.
Don't you start with Turrican already.
Turrican. You know that, right? I think Star Fox on the SNES, because I developed Star Fox Thumb, and the ability to go faster than the auto fire on that. And I could 100% all 3 journeys. I got to the stage where I could just 100% everything.
Awesome.
Right the way through, just zap everything. And probably beyond that, but probably the biggest one, and Ainge, you're going to hate me for this. Probably Half-Life 2.
Okay, that's fair.
So I played Half-Life, and that's when I was starting to get into things like what engines these run on, and you know, you can go into the INI files and you start changing some of the stuff on there and whatnot. But Half-Life 2, it was the first time Steam had turned up, and really Steam back then was just DRM. It wasn't anything like Store. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a mechanism so you couldn't copy the game. So I thought, damn, I'm not going to be able to go into LimeWire and down this one. So I decided to buy it. And that first scene where you come off the train, you come out into the main foyer. I had my headphones on. I was just like, wow, I'm hooked. I am hooked. You know what? This college grant for the PC, it was worth every damn penny. It was awesome. Beautiful. It's probably the best memory of that, definitely.
Fantastic.
Wow. When I got my 360 in 2009, so I'd had consoles obviously before that, but like really played a lot of sports games, a lot of racing games, think stuff like GTA and maybe God of War and stuff like that years before, but I'd never really gotten into the RPG genre. And a friend of mine had just bought a 360 as well, and it came with BioShock and Mass Effect, and he was like, oh, I don't want these games, do you want to borrow them? I was like, okay, sweet. And I played Mass Effect and I was like, okay, sci-fi RPG. And it absolutely changed my life when it comes to the games I love. And like everything about that series is just like now my favorite series by far. And like, you know, we had a cat called Garrus.
That's great.
And like, yeah, my partner and I are like, if we have a daughter, we'll probably call her Liara. But like that game and that series just like completely changed what I think of like video games and how I enjoy them. And RPGs are now like my favorite genre, and sci-fi has always been like my favorite, like, you know, book genre, film genre. But now it's like games are right up there as well, and that is all thanks to Mass Effect. So. That's incredible, awesome. Incredible game and series.
So BioShock, I agree on Mass Effect, one of my favorite series too. And then BioShock is both Dan and I, one of our favorite games of all time by far.
So good.
Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you kindly.
I'll jump in here. Talking about Final Fantasy 1 on the NES. It was probably the first game I hit triple digits on, you know, probably still top 5 for hours played. I had notebooks where I would just write down my character stats. And every time they leveled up, you know, I'd update their essentially character sheets. I actually tried to turn Final Fantasy 1 into a D&D adventure. You know, nice. I was in a D&D group with my friends. I was right around, right between first and second edition we were playing. And, you know, I would just record every encounter we had in Final Fantasy 1 and just, you know, come up with the random encounter tables and loot tables and stuff. And it was just a blast. And the whole Final Fantasy series has, you know, really been a big part of my gaming life. When I bought my PlayStation 1, I couldn't wait to play Final Fantasy 7. Sure. And there were no memory cards available. There's a shortage of them. So I popped in Final Fantasy 7 and just played it, you know, essentially hardcore mode. You know, if I died, my save was gone. I think I had something like 200 hours in it just from leaving it on until I finally got a memory card.
Yeah, back in those days, people just leave it running till you turn the TV off, but the console stayed on 24 hours a day.
Yep.
And back in those days, you used to get stuff with the games too. Final Fantasy gave you a mini strategy guide, a map, a bestiary, all that stuff came with the game. I love that game for that. Yeah. And I remember one memory of mine, man, there's so many, but one stands out of Final Fantasy 2 in the States for you know, the real one. So we played that game, my brother and I, and we got all the way through that game. And I remember when we finally beat the end boss, I remember sitting there just kind of like my jaw was just open. I was like I couldn't believe what just inspired like this huge fantasy that went all over the place and all over the universe. And I felt like, so I remember just sitting there. It must have been like 10 minutes. I just sat there like speechless, just thinking, just contemplating. I'm going, man, I wish I could be like a real adventurer and just go like that. That's my purpose in life. I'm going to go out and just like fight monsters. Like, where do I do this? You know, I was just thinking about where I could do that at. But I always remember that, like when people talk about their passion and like what they really remember about games, it's just that ability to bring that out of you, to bring that sense of wonder and awe and just, whatever it is that kind of takes us out of this world and puts us almost just as presently into another world. And I'll never forget that. That moment, I just really thought about that a lot.
So I was just saying that you have a way of wording things, and you just did it again. See, it's awesome. It's very true. I've written a lot about games as escapism, right? And I think that's very true and something we probably all agree with. And I think what's most fascinating to me now, not to get us off topic, is that now we'll have a lot of nights with some of the core members of this group where we're gaming, even playing our own games and just chatting, right? Because of the social aspect of it. You don't even have to be playing the same game, but you can combine that escapism with your friends too, which just makes it all the better. So I had a
Final Fantasy thing, by the way, as someone who has no idea about that series. You said like in the US it's number 2, but it's actually number 4. What's that?
Yes.
What's that about?
So the Japanese Final Fantasy, the main line, right? They didn't release all the games in the US. And so Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo here were actually 4 and 6 in the actual full series. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, here, the box, the art, everything is Final Fantasy 2, but it was actually Final Fantasy 4.
Right.
So very, very strange. Yeah.
That is confusing.
It was a joke they wanted to play on us.
Exactly.
They'll never know.
And here you go about talking about the first Final Fantasy and getting
that's
killed
true.
by imps. So this, if you're not aware, this is Elu's brother, twin brother, actually.
Yes.
So yeah,
There's 2 of us.
They have the same birthday. You know that?
What?
Oh, I love it. Oh, Ames, going back to the gaming thing just a moment ago there, the social thing. I think
yes.
back in the day when we grew up, the social thing was sitting next to someone on the couch and just elbowing them or unplugging the joystick when they got the better of you.
Yeah.
Well, that was me, but especially around Street Fighter 2, but we're not going to go there either.
No, we need to go there. We need to go there.
Well, I think that where that social thing really took off is the 360. I think it really party chat, in with your friends, playing different games of an evening on a Saturday, getting wasted. That's where it really took off, and it's just evolved from there. I think
100%. Yeah, especially in the console space, right? Like that system. Yep. Well, you and I have talked about this a lot, and I wrote an article about it too. It's just the history of that console and what it did for the console industry was amazing. Impressive. So I'll share a quip. I wasn't going to share this. As someone said, there's so many memories you could point to, but one of my favorite ones, and I think I've said this before in Bitcast, but it's still funny because we brought up King's Quest and the old Quest games. So we got the Tandy 1000 when I was either 4 or 5. I don't remember. And I remember I wasn't allowed to play on it because at the time, computers were really expensive, right? And my dad had just spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this Tandy, and I was a little 4 or 5-year-old kid not knowing what the hell was going on. And so as a kid, when you're not allowed to touch something, you find a way to touch it. And so I woke up at like 6:30 a.m. one morning. Everyone else was still asleep, and we lived in this old house with hardwood floors. And I crept down the stairs and down the hallway into the room where the computer was, and I turned it on, and I figured, I don't know how, but I figured out how to start King's Quest 1. And I started it and didn't realize that the sound was on like max volume. So everyone was asleep, and it turned on, and I can't even remember the theme song, but it was just blasted. And I heard my dad wake up and come walking down the hallway, and I was just sitting there in front of the computer monitor with King's Quest, just sitting there like, and he, he had a good laugh about it, but just one of my favorite memories. And from there, my brother and him kind of showed me. My brother's much older. Showed me, at least how to just kind of point and click. Not like I could really know what I was doing because you had to type all the commands in back then. But it was still a lot of fun. But I'll just never remember trying to be so sneaky and then just getting caught because the volume was too damn loud. Get a couple of these.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna grab these super chats real quick. Happy 5 years, Mo. What's happening, brother? You wonderful, beautiful humans. Here's to 50. 50 more.
Shit.
Good
I'm gonna be
Lord.
dead in 2.
Technology keeps it.
If we last even half of that, I am changing the name to Old Gaming at that
Yeah.
point.
The only thing you're going to hear on that podcast is I'm getting that warm feeling again.
And Bomber from Gaming Beyond the Box, one of our other close friends here. Happy 5 years, SG Crew. We need more Anthem. Don't you start. We were doing
No
so
Anthem.
well.
We almost made it.
Cheers, Bomber. Thank you,
35
brother.
minutes.
Angela, go for it.
Uncharted.
Oh, yeah. You recently discovered Uncharted, right?
That was my first game on like the more modern generation, modern consoles. So, wow, man, loved, absolutely in love. I was horrible at it. It was my very first time like shooting a gun in a game, and I was just awful. And the first Uncharted, there's no aim assist, so I mean, I would just die over and over again. But God, I couldn't stop playing it. I loved it so much. And then I played 1 through 3, and I would just play them over and over again. And finally, someone told me about Assassin's Creed, and then I went from there. But wow, Uncharted is amazing. And actually, I kind of want to write about it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just love it so much.
Do it.
Yeah, you've talked about it a lot, and it is a great one of my favorite series. It's fantastic. Nathan Drake as a character is he's one of the best gaming characters in my opinion. He's just kind of perfect. So it's gonna be interesting. Tom Holland's got his work cut out, man. I hope they do it justice. You're like, come on.
I'm excited.
Rumors we're getting a trailer.
Man.
Game Awards trailer?
Yeah. Apparently, we're supposed to see the trailer at the Game Awards, so we'll see what happens with that.
Oh man, is that the thing Stephen A. Smith is presenting?
We don't care.
No. Kel, what's up, man? So shout out to Killer Kel on Twitter. This is him. He has been with Season Gaming literally since the start. When we had like 50 followers and 6 views, Kel was there cheering us on. So thank you so much. Always great to see you, man. Appreciate the support.
He's probably, no offense to everybody else, but like one of my favorite people that watch the show and that, are always, responding on Twitter. He was the first person that I knew when I joined that, just seemed like super excited, that really appreciated what we do. So Kel, you're the man. I love you.
100.
Yeah. Please don't leave. I want
to die. Please stay.
Please stay.
I say the same thing to my wife.
No, it's 100% true. And when you start something like this and starting it from the ground up, man, there's nobody there. There's nobody listening. There's nobody watching. There's nobody reading. And he's been with us since the start. There's a handful of people I can name, which I'm not going to, but he's one of them that I remember from like the first months of Season Gaming that was there. So huge appreciation. Thank you. There was one more. Sorry, there was one more. Oh, here you go. Sergeant Tom, I remember buying my first HD upgrade, 300 megabytes for $250 on the 360. Remember when, upgrading at the time was pricey.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just like it is right now.
Yeah. I felt as bad of upgrading the hard drive as I did about buying that shiny horse thing on Oblivion.
When I saw that, I saw that thing, I saw that DLC, and I was like, here it is. It's the end. EA's going to look at this.
And
it was a harbinger, right? This is This is it.
And everyone's I love Bethesda.
We've already got good names coming in for our 50-year anniversary. We've got Pickled Gaming. We've got Bro. What's happening, bro? Good to see you, brother. We've got Tired Gaming. Bomber gives us Overseason Gaming. That's good.
No, Diaper Gaming.
Depends Gaming. We got Lady in the chat. What's up, Lady? We got Joseph, Eric, man. Good to see all you guys, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, true.
All right. Any other gaming memories or quips you want to share? Anybody?
Oh man, I got a lot personally myself, just because gaming was always in my family. But I'll share this one because I can go on forever about stuff like this. Grand Theft Auto Vice City just came out, and my friend Eric and I are playing it. We're like 16 at the time. We're playing this. It's 2:00 in the morning, and my parents come home from like them going out. My dad sits on the couch and goes, "What are you playing?" Grand Theft Auto Vice City. He's like, "Okay, cool." And he goes, "Can I have a turn?" So we hand him the controller, and my friend Eric is the smartass of us. So he says, my dad goes, "Oh, can I talk to this cop?" And Eric's like, "Yeah, you can. Hit the circle button. It's a conversation button." And he just punches the cop in the face. The cop thinks he's gonna kills him. But Dad's like, "What the hell is this?" We played till 5:00 in the morning, like just nonstop. We played all night. We had to drive somewhere 4 hours later. And my dad, we're in this huge intersection, and my dad yells. He goes, "What?" And we're like, "What's going on?" He goes, "I just said to myself I could take that car out." We're like, "You're not allowed to play games anymore." It's done.
That's fantastic. So Hassan's in the chat. What's up, brother? Happy 5 years here for free stuff. Heard you paid for one of them. Thank you as always, Hassan. So Dan, you want to? I don't know if you've already got someone picked.
No, I'm gonna put a message up. Okay, so everybody, first giveaway, 3 months Game Pass Ultimate. Type hashtag SG in the chat. I just put a message up there. So go ahead and do that. 5-10 minutes. I'll pick somebody.
Cool.
Randomly.
And by the way, huge shout out. So as we were talking here, Bizzle sent me a DM on Twitter, and he is donating for a giveaway for us.
Cool.
So there will be an extra giveaway that we're going to be doing shortly as well. So we'll get to that soon. Eric, EC Jackson on Twitter, another one of our favorites. Keep crushing it. You guys are the best and make this gaming space so much better. Eric, thank you, brother. You know, you're right there with us, so appreciate it.
Yep. One of my faves.
Yeah. All right.
Are we exempt from these?
Yes, yes, you are.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
It's a conflict of interest.
So I want to talk about we'll circle back. So I want to talk because we've got a lot of people on this panel that have created content in their own right. Whether it be a channel, whether it be writing, podcasts, sharing stuff in social media, and different experiences with that. So, and if not, if you're, Elo, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the first content, if you will, in the gaming industry you created was for Season Gaming, which is awesome as well. So,
I think so.
yeah, so that's fantastic, of course. But I just wanted to hear from everyone, kind of not stories, right? But just your thoughts on kind of what drove you to try and create content, what you like to create, anything you want to share about content creation. I mean, Elliot, is Direct Gaming because that's his brand, that's his channel. So I said I wasn't going to call on anyone, but Elliot, if you want to, you could probably kick us off here. That's perfect.
Yeah, I think probably around the end of 2018, I was watching loads of YouTube channels and gaming content, listening to gaming podcasts, and just immersing myself in the industry so much. And I was like, wait a minute, I spend so much time watching this stuff, but I always have so much to say, with my friends and people on the internet, and just why am I spending so much time watching this? I could be doing this myself. So I started my channel start of 2019, and been going ever since, and started doing a whole bunch of different things, reviews, news videos, every little thing I could kind of think of, but I've kind of honed it now into mostly based around Xbox content, and reached out. I don't even know how I found you, Ains, but I also
I don't
really
remember either, honestly.
I have no idea. I also really loved writing, and so I reached out to you a while ago now and just said, I really love what I'm seeing on Season Gaming, and I noticed you had a post about, if you want to contribute, hit me up. So I really appreciate the opportunity there, because I love doing the video stuff, but I also love writing as well. And I recently doing the Falconeer review. It was like really awesome to write. I hadn't written a review for so long because I wasn't really getting any traction with them on the channel. So it's been an awesome almost 2 years since I started making content. Kind of the first video I did was like a retrospective on Mass Effect 1, and I did a retrospective on Mass Effect 2 last year, so I'm going to probably do one the start of next year as well.
Nice.
For 3. So it's been an awesome journey. Like I do a podcast as well, and I just love, like, when it's me and my friends, we just always talk about games. So I was like, why am I not doing this externally and trying to get myself out there? So it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Very similar for me as well, in terms of just questioning yourself one day of why am I not. I'm literally typing and writing stories about games on a daily basis. Why don't I put this somewhere? Yeah. So there was one thing I was going to ask you, and I may regret this, but I'm gonna take a risk because there's been an ongoing debate that we need to settle once and for all between what is the best Mass Effect, and there is a clear answer here.
There's one clear answer here.
I'm gonna mute Dan. Let me mute Dan. Okay, he's muted.
Yeah, I don't want to get removed from this podcast.
And I don't want to say this means anything, but the future of you at SG probably hinges on this conversation.
That's not that big a deal.
No,
Mass Effect 2.
I said I was going to mute you. Don't you start.
I mean, 3 in a row.
Oh my God, the chat's killing me. Oh, okay. So,
Look,
where are you at on this, Elliot? Settle it for us.
The problem is it's so hard.
I don't want cop out. I don't want cop
out
out.
Make this decision, but for me, I'm sorry, man. It's Mass Effect 2.
Shit.
That's the popular one.
Well, the correct answer is 1.
Thank you.
The story of 1, like I said before, changed my life. Like the way it sets up the universe and everything is incredible. And when I say I prefer 2, it's not anything against 1. It's just I think the changes to it, the changes to it in the way of combat and like the decisions, and it's kind of like such a small contained story that I don't know. I love it. And the collectors and the suicide mission, like that suicide mission is like the best mission ever in gaming, if you ask me. But I do apologize.
Apologies needed.
Dan,
spitting facts.
Sarko, I've known Sarko for honestly, I don't know how long I've known him now. It's easily over a decade for sure. Sark, you can tell me if you remember, but it's 12, 13, 14 years. And because of that, he is putting the domino down. He's absolutely right. It's 1 or you're wrong. Pong's with us too. Okay, we got some people stepping up with the right answer.
Okay, so real Sergeant Tom said Andromeda. So I'm
whoever's a mod on this channel, just go ahead and remove these people.
Yeah, if you see my camera disappear, you know what happened.
No, but it's just been a funny conversation. We started on the Lord's podcast one day, and we've had this ongoing internet debate for a while between 1 and 2 for a while. And if there's one thing that's funny, two things I find funny about that debate. One, it shows you how much passion and love there is for Mass Effect, because it's just an incredible series that touched people, in so many different ways. The other thing I find funny, nobody ever says 3. Nobody ever says 3. It's always 1 or 2.
Someone picked Andromeda over 3, so there you go.
And 3 is incredible. Like
it is an incredible game. Yeah.
1 set it up, and 2 was like, in my opinion, like the perfect game. So it's hard to pick 3 over those two.
Like it's understandable why 2 gets all the love, but 1 is where all the story originated. Like everything just came off of that. The gameplay is not as good, but you don't play Mass Effect for the gameplay. or for the Mako or any like you play it for the story, and the story was so incredible. Like I couldn't stop playing part 1. Part 2, there were a couple times I stopped playing. My brother had to get me back into that thing. It wasn't because it was terrible, but it's just because there were other games that were vying for attention, and I was just going those directions. But and I came back to it eventually. But part 1 never had that issue. The story was just so gripping, and when I'm playing those games, I'm just thinking of the story, and part 1 has that in spades. Part 2 and 3 have it, but part 1 is just so good. That's why it's my favorite. It's just so good in that one.
Agree with you completely. I think what's interesting about part 1 too is you can see the foundation in that game that was built with Knights of the Old Republic. Right? Knights of the Old Republic was an amazing RPG, had a fantastic story, and you can see where Mass Effect, like the learning they took from that to make Mass Effect. Classic BioWare. Which we're not going to talk about BioWare.
Yeah.
I'm very sad about them right now.
Let's pour one out for those.
Let me get to some of these super chats real quick. Waltz, great show, guys. 5 years strong. I love seeing all the contributors. Also, Dan knows Bug Snacks is free stuff. And that mass. Damn it, Walt. I didn't read this beforehand. I wouldn't
even. We can delete them. That's fine.
And Graham, one of our absolute regulars. We talk to Graham day in, day out. One of our biggest supporters. Thank you as always, Graham. Happy 5 years. 3 things. Mass Effect 2 is. Damn it!
Maybe it's over.
I'm reading these before I pull these up from now on because I honestly do not read them. I just click on them. How do we turn this into a 4-hour podcast? Don't you start. How do we get the whole rest of those for us to be only about Anthem or Anthem 2.0? If Anthem 2.0 ever releases, we probably will do a 4-hour podcast about it because we'll have so much to say. Let's see.
Yeah, all right. To spend.
Oh, we got Hassan again. Oh no, I would say 2 because Anthem 2.0 is on the way. 2 just sounds right. Thank you, sir. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Dan, do you need more time on this first giveaway? You got someone?
How about that? Can't see it. It's Has-A-Door. There it is.
There you go.
Name generator.
I don't know if it has. If you're still in the chat, brother, well deserved. Just hit me up in my DMs on Twitter, and I'll get you the code for 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Boom.
So we still have another giveaway for 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, and because of Lunch Bizzle, we have a huge credit to Xbox Live. Let me double check. $60 to Xbox Live from Bizzle. So we'll pick that winner here shortly. All right. So we've kind of gone. That was the first person we talked about creating content. We went off on a tangent with Mass Effect.
Totally your fault.
So anyone else? Go for it. Creating content, why you chose to do it, and what you enjoy about it.
I guess I'll do it again.
Go for it.
All right. So, I mean, I worked at GameStop for years. And before that, I worked for another video game company. I've been working in like the retail area since I was like 18. So after years and years of working, a friend of mine, once again, my friend Eric, he said to me, he goes, he says, what you do is you take personal opinion and make it professional advice. And that stuck with me. And I was like, damn, like you're kind of right about that. So I eventually, after many years of GameStop, I got some friends together. We made a website that was doing okay to a point where Kotaku literally ripped off an entire article word for word for me. And the worst part is I couldn't prove it.
Kotaku? No, they would.
Yeah. And because of that, that's actually through GameStop. It's like also how I met my wife. She jumped on the website. She wrote content for Skyrim back in the day. And just like, and like from that, I was like, okay, this is like where I want to be. And then eventually things kind of snowballed. And I kind of stopped for a while. But then after this whole pandemic hit and I got laid off my job, and that's kind of like when I contacted you about writing some stuff. And I also started doing freelancing. And I was kind of like, this is where I'm at. Like, this is what I've always wanted to do. And I just didn't like being in charge of it. So I kind of found my footing. And that's, just after years of being and talking to people about this stuff, I really needed to get my voice out there, and that's where I'm at.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know. Like I said earlier, we met on Reddit because I knew you were. Sorry, I'm giving Haz his code, so if you see me looking to the side, I knew you created content, and as someone, when you start something new, and this is a crowded space, right? There's a lot of content creators and a lot of channels and a lot of sites. It's a challenge, and you look for people who you feel create something good and something positive and something worthwhile, because there's a lot that's not, which I just wrote about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what led me to meeting you and asking you for feedback. I don't ask for feedback from, people I don't appreciate their own content from, right? So that's really cool. So I'm glad that you've written a lot this year for Season Gaming. Your articles have been popular. I know Dust Off Z is your new favorite game.
Oh, absolutely, game of the year.
And no, it's been as I've told you privately, it's been awesome to see just the how it's come along, because it's fantastic content. So it's a pleasure to have you aboard.
Yeah, it's and also it writing for you guys helped me get a real job in like writing, which is amazing to me. So it's like without you guys, I really wouldn't be where I am. So that's another thing.
So is there a contract needed for the percentage cut that I need? No, that's I don't take compliments too well, but that's awesome. So we've talked about that. That's fantastic. One of the things I talk about with Season Gaming is we're non-monetized. You guys all know this, obviously, but we don't. We don't make money here. It costs me money. And so, but what it does, right, is, like Steve just mentioned, right, it's just an outlet. It's an outlet to share a passion for something we all enjoy. So you hear a story like that from you, Steve, and it's humbling, and it's more than I could have imagined when we started this whole thing. So it's awesome. So
thank you.
Well, who wants to try and follow that one up?
Tall order.
Dan just left. He's like, all right, forget it.
I suppose I'll go next, Ains, I suppose. So when it comes to writing, again, you're probably the first person that I've ever written for. So Season Gaming's the first time I'd ever written an article, ever even thought about how to structure it. And you can probably remember the back and forth we had on email.
I remember you sent me pretty much a wall of text.
Yeah. Oh, does this look good? I don't handle rejection too well. Be gentle, all that stuff. So, but I've always been that guy that's loved gaming, but in equal measure, I love tech. So I'm that guy who bought Mass Effect 2 on the 360 and for my PS3, just so I can run it through the PC and screen grab and just two of them. I was that guy. I was so sad. But even going back further than that, getting an Atari, getting the Amiga, the Commodore Amiga back in the day, and getting the same games and comparing, I've always been interested in that, and reading up about tech, reading up about how games are created, and then my job sort of moved into networking and that type of stuff. So I got more involved in what sits beyond that, the APIs, integration when it comes to platform to platform. I was very versed in all that type of stuff. And I think what drove me to start writing articles for Season Gaming is just the absolute codswallop. I'm going to use that word.
You'll have to explain it for everyone outside of the UK.
Yeah, total and utter just bull that you see people write on Twitter, which triggered me to begin with. So we can thank Twitter for me being triggered and writing articles, really, I suppose, and when I do that, I'm coming from a place of like, okay, I try to be as unbiased as I can be. And I just want to give a true reflection of certain things when it comes to tech. Now, I haven't done a game review yet, Ains. I think it's time for me to move over and review a game with.
Did they re-released Hurricane, or?
They certainly have. So maybe that's a thing. But yeah, so but again, like everyone else on here, you guys are awesome. I always put random stuff in our chats, just random out of the blue. But it's been a pleasure, and Ains, like you're going to get probably off almost everyone on this forum. Is thanks for the opportunity, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's my pleasure, honestly. So so this is perfect. Oh man, too funny. I told him you're gonna have to explain it outside of the UK. I mean, I know what you're saying, of course, for obvious reasons, but yes. But no, it's been a pleasure as well. I could go on, and I don't want to get into a sentimental, personal, show about everyone here. But it's awesome, and I really appreciate you bringing that perspective you talked about to the site, because I'm a technical guy, as you know, similar histories in some veins to our careers, right? But you take it to another level beyond my knowledge, which is awesome because I love to learn. So it's very, very welcome.
Yeah, you guys should really, every once in a while we need to take like a screenshot of like something that Carl types in the chat and just blow everybody's mind. Just boom. I literally read that stuff and I'm just like, I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's awesome.
It's kind of like Season Gaming's version of Digital Foundry.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Man.
Yep.
Well, hey, we want to do the second giveaway?
Ooh.
Get it started?
Yeah, go for it, because we've got Bizzles to do too, and then we'll get to Nate.
Okay, so second giveaway, 3 months the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Typed in the chat, #7, the number 7, or you can type it out if you want to.
Oh,
all right, and you guys can have a chance at 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
And we're talking about, that's reference to Miles Morales, right?
No.
Oh,
if you check the site, you can see my glowing review for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Stand by it forever. So let's go.
No worries. All right, go ahead and do that, chat. We'll get to you in just a few minutes. Nate,
nice.
Hit us up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've kind of dabbled in Twitch streaming and stuff like that. Never really got off the ground. I was the kind of streamer, I'd be like, yeah, there's 2 people in here and one of them said hi, and
we've all been there, man.
And it's a tough thing, like you were saying, to break through, because you're competing against these guys that have thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, thousands of people watching them every time they turn on their camera. But writing to me is just a great way to get sort of your feelings out there, and to have a platform, like Season Gaming, it's just a great forum to sort of get get out there and just be another voice in the industry. And something that I noticed when I was reading reviews when I first joined the group was the reviews on Season Gaming. They all feel personal. It's a lot of first person. This is why I like this game. This is why I didn't like this game. It's not just the frame rate was good, the music was bad. That sort of thing that you see on every single major review site. It's I haven't written a lot. I'm working on a bunch of stuff, and I'm excited to get more submitted. But I really feel like I can just sort of be myself and just talk about the games and why I love them, and get out there and just play more stuff to just talk about it.
Great, man. Yeah, that's I mean, I already said I don't take compliments well, so I love hearing positive stuff about the site. It's good, and I think that's good. It's funny, kind of with reviews on the site, because a couple of you have mentioned that now. It's been 5 years, and started by myself, and all of Bert, I believe, and Bert and I kind of ran the site and the channel for a few years. Bert stepped away end of last year, but over time, as we kind of did reviews and stuff, we were trying to figure out a good format to be honest in our reviews. It was always about being honest, always about making sure we played the game fully, not some of these reviews where people act like they did and they played it for a few hours, which is way too prevalent. But we've changed it over time. So we had this original review format, then we changed it. Then we went to a format which Dan remembers, because when he first came on, where we would do only 3 paragraphs, but then we would do half of the review during the podcast, which was it was okay. I guess looking back on it, it wasn't as good as it could have been. But now I think we're in a pretty good place now. We have a solid review policy. The reviews you guys are kicking out are just fantastic, other than the 7. And I mean, as reference, right? We were formally accepted as a critic on Open Critic this year. We were on Open Critic previously back in 2017, but we were a contributor at the time, which is they separate critics and contributors, right? So now we're part of the critic listing. When our review goes up, it's in an aggregation. So I think that speaks to the quality of what we're putting out there. So it's good. It's really good. So
Amazing.
Yeah, I remember seeing Dan's reviews, and they were just hysterical. Like no holds bar. Like when I was like starting, I was kind of like, okay, like how do I put myself into this review? And like reading Dan's reviews, I was like, okay, I think I know what to do. I think I know how to make personality shine. So it's like that. Like as the reviewers, like I love Dan's reviews because they're so good. Elliot's review on Falconeer was just like phenomenal. Like just
Oh man,
the word to use. I was like, damn. I'm like, damn, that's really good. I was like, man, he really describes a scene. Like, damn. And like everyone's like reviews and the words they're using. Like, I'm always finding little bits. I'm like, damn. Like, I wish I could do that. Like, Phasma got Angela got like interviews with people, and I was like, damn, I gotta do an interview with someone now. Like, how do like it's? I think it's such a good team of people because everyone's bringing something different to the table, and you don't see that anywhere else. I cannot tell you the different writers on IGN. Like, I cannot tell you who's who except for maybe 3 people. When you're reading something from Season Gaming, when I was reading, I was like, I knew exactly who it was. I didn't even need to look at the name. I just knew who wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's less streamlined, and when you guys kind of put something up in drafts and we kind of go through it and edit it and get it ready for publishing, I told most of you that even without knowing who's put it up or whatever, I can tell you who wrote it, because it is, to your point, you all have very unique styles of writing, and I think it's great. Now I know some of you give me crap about removing things here and there.
Half my article gone.
Wow.
There are a few things that I don't let go out on the site, but otherwise, I'm glad that we can retain that kind of unique and personality. So
yeah, absolutely. There's another thing too, because you guys, all you guys coming in, like just recent, within the last year, has been like a huge weight. Like, because there was a time right before this all happened where we became, where everybody joined, where I was just like struggling to get a review in, and just, I played games that just had no desire. It just went away. It was right at the beginning of this stupid pandemic. And then, when you guys came on, it felt like a weight had kind of been lifted off my shoulders, and I could kind of come in and do it at my own pace almost, okay, I can just do it. And it was that way before, but it was just something that, so I really appreciate the fact that, Ains, that you got all these people and they're all amazing and wonderful people. And every one of you guys for, it sounds like it's like I'm making it like a burden, but it's really not, because it was something, we all do this because we love the hobby. That's, I'm guessing, for most of us. So,
you just didn't want to play Dust Off Z, man. Just tell.
Well, that too. Yeah, for sure. And that's never going to happen. But it was so nice to have everybody come in and see all these reviews coming out. It kind of made me want to just jump right back into it. So it's been really an awesome last year. Regardless of the social situation here at SG, it's been amazing to see the growth and just getting all these new faces in. I've loved it, man. So I appreciate all you guys. It's been awesome.
Wow. Just listening to Dan give a compliment is just worth its weight in gold. Trying to push through that thing was amazing. Good job, Dan. You did it. I didn't even think about that, Steve, but you bring up such a good point that everybody really is unique here. And it's so obvious that I think I didn't even notice, but it's such a good point you make there. Everybody here writes with passion, and we write because we want to. We're not here making the bucks or because we absolutely have to do it or anything like that. We write because we want to. And that's something that really you don't get from a lot of other sites. And Ainsley has a great article about a lot of that stuff that you get from other sites. And you're so true. And that's exactly why I do it. I want to write because there's something that's on my heart that I want to put to paper, and I go to it. And I think everybody here does that. Everybody here loves it. Everybody here is trying to support each other. And we become a little community. So, we have our little, quirks, but, it's one big community that comes together because of a passion. And I absolutely love that. I think that's something that we all share.
Man, I've got to say, I'm going to agree with Ains here. You've got a way with words, man.
I'm telling you. I'm not saying it as to be to be goofy. Like, he really does. It's awesome.
Okay. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, very good. So I'll move on to one other topic, but I want to, obviously, anyone else want to touch on anything there before we move on? And Graham says Dan's going to start crying. Someone toss him a tissue.
My tear ducts have dried out. I mean, I don't even know when the last time that even happened. I did stub my toe the other day, and that was rough. That was probably the last time. Man.
Well, I definitely want to talk more about why Mass Effect 1 is the best. But
I'm down. Well,
I want to hear. I'm all ears.
I'll tell you what, though. Let's make that a whole separate show.
Okay.
Good.
So we have that lined out with because I need to get Cog on here, and we need to have like just a whole show.
What channel can we find that?
No idea. We're gonna put it on the old third wheel.
Yes.
I'll get
We actually, in all seriousness, I'm not even joking around. We could put together a panel and a podcast talking about Mass Effect, our love for it, and then have a little fun debate of Mass Effect 1 and 2. That could be fun.
Can we get like one person who loves 3?
If you can find them, I'm sure we'll have them on. I don't think that exists.
Yeah, we'll put him in like bottom corner as a smaller window. Just.
Are me and Dan still debating Valhalla?
Hey, man, you got to finish it though.
Well, Immortals,
Yeah.
We're never going to finish it. Cyberpunk is in 5 days.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Not going to happen. I'm trying to say out.
I'm playing World of Warcraft right now. I don't have a life.
Hey, Dan, you want to grab that other winner, dude?
I'm working on it right now.
Okay, well, while you're doing that then. So one other thing I want to talk about, because we've talked a lot about our favorite games and gaming history. And, there's, as I said, games can be very personal and have meaning to each other or to all of us for different reasons. And so I could have transitioned this earlier, but I'm going to do it now. And that is, I want to talk about our favorite games of all time and what they mean to you and why. And if you guys need time to think about that, I'll start. That way it'll give you time and Dan time to finish that. Or did you already grab it, Dan?
Yeah, I got it. Johnny Taco.
Johnny Taco.
Yay.
Actually, Johnny did a lot lately. He was in my stream the other night for Demon's Souls, and he was sharing this out earlier. So congrats to Johnny. Appreciate it. Johnny, hit me up on DM, and I'll get you the code for 3 months of Game Pass. Congrats.
Johnny Taco.
It's a great name. Johnny
It is a great name. I'm starving right now.
Off the top, Johnny Taco. All right, so where was I going? We still got the $60 giveaway for Xbox.
I will cue that up here.
Okay, from Lunch Bizzle, which is just amazing. So, one of my favorite games. I've talked about this before. People know. In fact, I think you can, if you look all the way in the very top left corner, you can see in dark a Phantasy Star poster. But one of my favorite games is Phantasy Star 1 for the Sega Master System. And the reason it's so important to me is at the time, as we were all discussing, right, grew up with Atari, the NES kind of changed all of our worlds or many worlds, right? But I didn't have an NES. My friends did. And so I was, my mom, single mother, didn't have a lot of money. And NES came out in 85 in the US, 86 came around. I really started, playing all these games at my friends' houses. So I was always talking about gaming. And my mom, for just before Christmas in 86, got me a Sega Master System. She knew nothing about video games, had no idea Sega or Nintendo, whatever. And so I was the only kid I knew with Sega Master System. And when Phantasy Star came out, I think it was in 88, I was 10 years old. It's an expensive game, has a battery in it to save your game. You guys remember those. Mm-hmm. And I still have my original copy sitting right back there off camera from when I was 10 years old, because it was the first RPG I played where you had characters and gear and all the things, Nate was talking about with Final Fantasy on the NES. and Elu, and it just that game. I think I played it every single day for just months and months and months and months on end. In fact, and back then, those games were hard. There were no guides. There was no internet. No way to figure stuff out other than doing it. And at 10 years old, your problem-solving skills aren't the best. So there's one thing I got stuck on. I remember you had to find this item, and I didn't find it. It was months, absolute months. And I could not progress in the game, and eventually I found it. And I can still remember that moment when I found it and was able to complete the game and finish it. And in fact, one funny thing, years and years ago when Dreamcast Magazine was a thing, if you go into official Dreamcast Magazine, I still have this somewhere laying around, like issue 3 or something like that. If you look at the letter of the month, they used to do letters of the month. You remember that in gaming magazines? That was written by me. I got the letter of the month, and I wrote in about Phantasy Star. And they sent me a Dreamcast package with like a Dreamcast duffel bag and magazines and all this stuff. So just Phantasy Star's always been up there for me. I hope that one day we get a true, not Phantasy Star Online, but a true single player return of Phantasy Star.
What are we talking about? Favorite games all time?
If only there was a banner.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with not Oxenfree. There's so many other games out there that you can play. Just not that one. Don't ever play that game. What? Sorry if anybody likes it. I don't want to hear it. Worst game of all time. Everything else is fantastic.
Worst of You're telling me that game's worse than Dust Up Z?
Yes.
No, I don't believe it.
I'm just going to sit back here and watch the fireworks.
It is the worst.
There's no way.
I'm telling you, man. It is. Don't play it ever unless you're a 17-year-old angsty teenager that wants to, get their feelings valid. I hate that game so much.
Dan, there's a dinosaur high school game coming out.
That is by the same people, isn't it?
No, it's not by the same people.
It is.
Right. I demand a review from Dan on that one.
I might. You know what? That is my next game. When does that come out? Dinosaur High or whatever the hell it is?
I don't know. I want you to review it so bad.
Oh my god. I just remember that damn thing. Yeah, I hope it's at the Game Awards.
I saw it at the trailer, and my wife says to me, she goes, "Is this like Tumblr the game? Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
Let me get Graham. Thank you for a $5 super chat. That's why I love Aiden so much. My mom knew zero about gaming too. Ended up with Second Master and Space Harrier and Wonder Boy for the win. 100%, man. Classics. Classics.
Absolutely.
You're trying to narrow it down to just one. I'm just going to go with Bioshock. Just because it's been amazing. It was just an amazing game.
Yes.
You can throw The Witcher in there. You can throw, so many. I mean, even recent games, not like all-time list, but like Yakuza.
Stop it.
No, I'm just joking. That one's for Ains. No, I mean, I would say Bioshock is probably up there because it was such a different. It was so well written, and Adam Levine or Levine, however you say his name, I never really know for sure.
No, Ken. Ken Levine.
Oh, Ken. Ken. I'm thinking of the Maroon 5 guy. Yeah, not Adam. That guy's a douche. But so is Ken. To be fair, he's kind of a super self-absorbed, very, very cocky dude. But he writes really, really good games. Yeah. So I can't even, with Infinite, I was just like, man, this game is awesome too. He does such a good job. He's kind of an asshole, but that's okay. If you give me something good, I can look over that. I can look over your pretentiousness. That's no problem. So, that's, I'm just going to keep it short, even though I haven't, and just go with Bioshock. Fantastic game.
Thank you for keeping that short.
Yep, you're welcome. I do what I do.
I suppose some of the mess up in my mind when it comes to games, a little bit of a story. I won't be too long. But Atari Jaguar. Remember the Jag?
Oh yeah. Alien vs Predator was incredible at the time.
Well, this. So when the Atari Jaguar first came out, literally when it was launched, I had a part-time job on a local farm where I live right now. When I was in college, so I'd been earning some money, and obviously, when you're in college, you go out drinking with your buddies all the time, so your money doesn't go too far. So it was launch day for the Atari Jaguar, and I think it was in college. I said to my mum, here's the money for the Atari Jaguar. Can you go and get that for me and go and get Alien vs Predator, whatever that was with it. It was AVP. I gave her half the money and told her that was what it was going to cost, knowing full well She's going to get the shop, and she's going to have to stump up another 200 pounds to get it. I knew she was good. I knew she was good for it, so she would have got it anyway. Anyway, I get back in the house. She's not too pleased with me. And I get the Atari Jaguar out, and I've got Alien versus Predator, and it was the first time that I'd ever seen a 3D game like that. And it was just the turning the lights off, getting it on the TV, turning it on running through my stereo. My friend turned around to me and goes, "Is that a 64-bit?" And I went, "No, it's a 32-bit with a 64-bit bus. Do you want to talk some more about that?" But it was just so awesome. I think it was all night literally spent just walking around this gloomy corridors with empty canteens and blood on the floor, and it was just fantastic. And I went back to it a couple of years ago. I went and got an emulator and tried to play it. Man, that is absolute pants now.
God, I love Carl.
The frame rate is literally somebody drawing it and putting up as a but back then it was just like the best thing ever. It was
no doubt. It's like PlayStation 1 games. Like, they were mind blowing at the time when the PS1 came out. You try to play a PS1 game now, you're like, what is even on the screen? I don't know what's happening. Like, it's a disaster. Yeah. It's that's awesome though. But yeah, I mean the Jaguar was already a commercial failure, right? But I think without Alien vs Predator, no one would even remember that. I mean, it had Tempest, what was it, 3000, and had a few other notable games, but AVP was it.
Yeah, that was awesome, that game. And the controller was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember I wanted a Jaguar. I was trying to convince my parents to get it, and they told me no. So, it's interesting to see the generation gap where it's just like, yeah, I just bought it, and then I'm like asking my parents.
The Atari Jaguar was great. What was the other one that I bought? I went and bought a dev kit for a PlayStation. It was dark gray.
Yes, for PS1.
Yeah, PS1. Yeah. Cost me an arm and a leg, and there was another silent drive home. Mum didn't speak to me. Well, that was cool, yeah. And I had to turn upside down because the laser was just absolutely rubbish in that machine. So after about a month, literally, if you want to play a game, you have to turn it upside down. Awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tradition still holds true for some people.
I'm gonna feel really bad if somebody says Oxenfree in the next 20 minutes. So,
No, you won't.
letting you know,
Whatever.
I might leave the show.
What else we got? Come on, let's hear a one we wouldn't be thinking of normally.
All right, I got a weird one. So I've already mentioned like two of my favorite games, obviously Mass Effect 1 and 2, and Donkey Kong Country 3. But I think it's more like a series, but a series that just like I absolutely love and miss is Guitar Hero. Like absolutely obsessed with that series from kind of number 2 on. I didn't really play number 1 that much, but a friend had it on PS2, I think it was. But man, Guitar Hero 3, World Tour, Guitar Hero 5, like we got Beatles Rock Band, and like even what was it, Guitar Hero Metallica and Guitar Hero
Metallica was amazing.
The Metallica one was so sick. And we'd have like me and my mates all like the whole band set up, 2 guitars, drums, someone singing, and it was just the best fun like ever. Like such good fun, local multiplayer. And we used to just play everything on expert and try and 100% like every song. It was ridiculously hard, and it's so much fun. That whole series, just I have the best memories of. In our share house with all our mates, and just playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band for endless hours.
I'm with you. But you should bring that back. You might do that now on multiplayer.
So sick.
It'll come back at some point.
Yeah,
it will.
Yeah,
they had
and
one
it's 2 years ago. So you can't even play it.
No.
Yeah, and then you get, well, when you have those songs too, there's all those licensing concerns that happen, and you can't stream it right, and it's just it gets messy. But
oh my god, streaming that game would be a nightmare.
You could, you get copyrighted right away.
Like 7 songs you could do.
It's just being muted.
So I've been playing Sackboy on PS5 like crazy. The game's amazing. I'm going to keep preaching about this damn game. Buy it, damn it. But it's got several levels now, which are just incredible because it incorporates real music with the level design itself, and it's just fantastic. But I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, I couldn't even stream just to get people to see more of this game because I'd be copyrighted immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of those and you're screwed.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So for favorite games, like I said, I touched base with Final Fantasy. I'd say Final Fantasy 6, 3 in the US is probably my number one. Just I could literally just play that game start to finish just whenever I wanted. It's the reason I bought a SNES Mini, just so I'd have an easy way to play it without dragging out my SNES or using an emulator or something. Other games in my top 5, easily Skyrim. Again, just started picking that up again on the Series X.
You said it was really good, right?
Oh my god, it's literally like a different game. The mods just make it a whole new experience. It's kind of similar with Diablo 2 at the end when the mods, there's some just incredible mods for Diablo 2 that just kept that game alive for years and years after the original game kind of wore off. I'm definitely an indie kind of roguelike guy. And that's probably going to be the brunt of my reviews here on Seasoned Gaming, just because I love them. I actually just checked my Steam profile, and I actually just broke, combined across all platforms, 4,000 hours on The Binding of Isaac.
Wow.
Wow.
And so I've got like 2,900 or something on Steam and another 900 on Switch.
I didn't realize you could play that game that long.
It's just one of those games where it's kind of that perfect mix of the one more run, everything's the same enough where it's feels comfortable, but it's different enough that it's fun, and they have daily runs that that's kind of my morning routine. I wake up, I make a coffee, I do the Isaac daily. They reset at I think either 5 or 6 a.m. depending on daylight saving time, and that's just part of my day, and it's
wow.
That's amazing though. It speaks to it almost speaks to how spoiled we are nowadays. We're talking a lot around, when we were growing up, right? You pay $70, $80, $90 for a cartridge of one of these games that I still remember. Speaking of Sega, the second Alex Kidd game was The Lost Stars, I think, on Sega Master System. And I remember my mom buying that for me from Macy's. Man, I'm dating myself. And got home and played. I beat the entire game in like 45 minutes. And the credits were rolling, and she looked at me and she's like, "You finish it?" And I said, "Yeah." And she had just spent whatever, $60 or whatever it was at the time. We didn't have much money. And I knew she had to be thinking like, what in the F? Like I just spent $60 on this. And now, like you're saying, Binding of Isaac, you can get that game for what, $5, $10, $15 nowadays, and you've got thousands of hours into it because of their replayability.
Yep. The first version I bought, I think it was one of those either Humble Bundle Steam sales. It was 99 cents, and I'm sitting at 1,800 hours for $1. And
it's unbelievable.
and people say Game Passes are gonna be a problem.
No.
It's the formula. Man. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, hey, let's do the last giveaway from Lunch Bizzle. It's a $60 Xbox credit, right?
$60 Xbox credit. Now, big one.
Now, I don't know if this is region restricted, so it might be. I'm guessing it probably is, but regardless, type hashtag 5 years in the chat for your chance to win the $6 in Xbox credit. Shout out to Lunch Bizzle for that super generous donation. That was awesome of you. Let's get it going. 5 years, Sent
Fantastic.
a message. There goes. Damn you. I'm talking about, man.
That's 7.
7 years. Yep.
All right, I know we got some more classics you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
No one
more.
even talked about Monster Hunter World yet.
Oh,
That's right.
no.
I can't believe it.
That's right, Eli.
It's unbelievable to me that no one even. I mean, it's such a classic, and no one. People are dodging it. Is what they are. It's so
Can you mute
obvious
him?
that you don't even say it. You know? Yeah. I understand. No, honestly though, as much as I talk about that game, my favorite of all time is Symphony of the Night. I'll still stand by that one because so much of that game just it resonates with me. It's a platformer. It's so obviously that tugs at your heartstrings for us being seasoned. That's all we played as kids. That was most of the games were platformer type games. It was one of the first games like that had the loot system like it did. So you can go and find better gear as you're playing it and level up and all that. And it made sense in the game. Like it wasn't just tacked on. Like it was fun to play with that. And it still had the Metroidvania thing, which I hate that word, where you had to find items and then you can unlock other parts of the castle. So I love that game. Another game I played a lot of, probably more than most people ever, is Big Bumpin' from Burger King. Do you guys remember those Burger King games?
The Sneak King, man. I had that game. That was an awesome game.
There were 3 of them. There were 3 of them.
There was Sneak King, Big Bumpin', and another one that I didn't play. But Big Bumpin', I put a lot of hours into that game, more than I probably should have. But I remember that one. Just throw an obscure one out.
That is, I was gonna say that's not one I expected to hear about today. That's for sure.
I was just thinking about that.
Deep on that one, man.
Does anyone remember Cool Spot?
Oh yeah, for Genesis or Mega.
Wasn't that one of our gets that game deals?
It was, name that game. Yeah.
Oh, it was Alden.
Name that game.
I think.
Yeah.
And we moan about advertising in games, and back in the day, it was blatant. I mean, it was made about something like that.
Yeah.
Zool as well. That was another one. It was made about Chubba Chubs.
Oh, nice.
There was
the Noid.
Yeah, Attack of the
Oh
Noid.
yeah, Noid.
Yeah. The Noid, yeah. Dominoes.
There's that wonderful Pepsi Man game.
Oh, Pepsi. I'm going to Google this.
I missed out on that one.
Nate, I'm going to Google this one.
California Raisins.
There's that Chex Mix game that actually just got remade too. Not Chex Mix, but Chex. It was a first-person shooter game made in the Doom engine.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And you're fighting these like mutant alien Czechs.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard of that.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, Bizzle says Doritos Crash Course. That's another one.
Oh yeah.
Doritos.
Ronald McDonald had one. Yeah.
It was like every Monster Energy drink game there is. Like I think it's on Game Pass. I think one was on Game Pass.
Like motocross or something.
Yeah, the motocross games. Yeah, there were Folgers Coffee and Alan Wake.
This is trending. So somebody's got to do an article about advertising games.
No doubt. Man. Graham, man, I don't know how many super chats this is, but thank you so much. I guess these are his favorites of Nier,
Super Metroid,
God of War 2018, Super Mario World, and Super Metroid are like they should be on every list for all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bloodborne, Bad Company 2 is a good shout out. Dante's Inferno and Dark Cloud are interesting ones. You don't see those often in these lists.
Dark Cloud's awesome.
Fantastic.
Dante's Inferno played so well. Like it was obviously a copy of God of War, but it played so well. Like that's an underrated game.
Very cool art style too. The way they kind of brought it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Visceral Games, did they make that?
Say it again.
Visceral?
Was it Visceral that made that?
I think so.
I don't remember.
I definitely know it was an EA game.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah. That was a good game.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
I mean, some of my favorites. I mean, Final Fantasy VII was a favorite of mine. I would skip school to play Final Fantasy VII. I was like, oh, I'm sick, but I really wanted to see what's going to happen in Cosmo Canyon. But probably one of my all-time favorites, Halo 2.
Yes.
Now we're talking.
The amount of time I spent in that game playing with my friends, when my dad got internet cable in the house, I cut out holes in the walls so I could send an Ethernet cable from the router 5 rooms away into the basement so I can play online with my friends. Like that game got me to do hard labor. And like just I have a lot of unforgettable moments from that, and just like a lot of my friends, like we would hang out together and we would just look at each other like, yo, you want to just go home and play Halo? Like we all go home to our own places, like, and stop hanging out in person. Like it was that kind of a game that, like, man, we put so much hours into, we played the hell out of. And then when they had the first DLC, it came out of disc.
Yep, sure
and
did.
like one of us, I would buy the disc and I just handed it to all my friends. That's
you
how
just
we
had
got
to
it.
install it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just like hand passed this disc around and threw it out when we were done. That's what happened. But man, like so many great moments in gaming of that. And then let's see, I'm trying. And then Skyrim is probably the next one that's really, like, every time I jump into that game, I'm like, I sink a chunk of hours into it, disappear for days, and come out like just like fine. Like that's one of the. Those are my top 3 games I'd say of all time. I've like 8,000 times. Like I own it and everything. This is
something that's just come back to me. Quake 3 was another favorite of mine back when I was in college. My friend Richard, I haven't seen him in years. His handle on Quake 3 was Vivado. He played in the UK team, so he played against guys like Fatality and all them lot.
Yeah.
He was really up there. He used to get a PC. He used to get cards and stuff. He was sponsored back in the day. And I remember having a game of Quake 3 with him, and he used to get hold of the railgun, and he'd be doing stupid jumps. Just when you mentioned the Ethernet cable, because I thought, right, I'm going to go off Wi-Fi. I'm going to Ethernet up, and I'm going to kill this guy. I remember doing that, taking the PC downstairs into my living room, and my mum's going, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, just back off, just go make yourself a coffee, whatever. And I remember setting the PC up, and literally, even Ethernet cable, he beat me 50-0 with a railgun, just jumping in midair, turning around, and just nail me every time. Not that I'm bitter or anything.
Those Twitch shooters are real, man. I mean, Quake and Unreal Tournament at the time and Championship when they were big. Unreal. I mean, it was, laser focus for those guys. But going back to Steve's comment about Halo, I can talk Halo all day. But I think that's what, for a lot of people, makes Halo so special. Is because if you look at the original trilogy, it really did change. Each one of them had a huge impact on the industry. Halo CE brought basically the first-person shooter along in the console space, right? It proved that a big PC-like first-person shooter could be done in the console space. Yeah. Halo 2 brought online multiplayer to console spacing and really kind of made live this foundation of online gaming. And then Halo 3 brought MLG and pro players into the console space as well. Halo 3 broke all kinds of records when that game released. So it's just the memories for Halo in that decade are just untouchable for a lot of people.
I remember specifically Halo 3, a bunch of my friends were all working at GameStop. And we all took our copies home early. The second they came in, like, we all took them home early. And we're playing, and we were getting messages from people from Bungie being like, "So you work for GameStop, huh?" Yeah.
Bungie was really good about being on top of things. Like, I remember I went to midnight launch at GameStop for Halo 3 with a bunch of friends, right, and picked up all the legendary editions, and you log on that night, and Halo 3 had that world tracker, and you could see the world just logging on as time went, right? Like, just lighting up as millions and millions of people logged on. It was one of the best experiences ever. Amazing.
Halo 3 is my favorite Halo of them all. I mean, if my mate's listening, Andy Boyer, me and him had probably the best online experience ever in co-op and that, and I still hark back to that on the 360. That was just amazing.
Yeah, the 360 really killed it back then, man.
Yeah. It
really changed it.
Oh yeah, that was so good. Another game I want to mention, I'd be remiss not to mention, the Borderlands series, really the whole series. It's fantastic. I mean, some of the best games. I remember playing with my wife through the first one, and then when part 2 came out, we were standing in line. We had our kids all dressed up in Borderlands gear, so that they probably thought we were horrible fans. But, it was Yeah, and then we went all the way through that game. It was, those were some great memories. And everybody I talked to seems to have really good memories with the Borderlands series.
Yeah.
And so I had to mention that.
It's the only good Gearbox game.
Yeah, so yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Yeah, me, this as well. And funny enough for anyone watching, that's how Elu and I met, was through Borderlands 2.
Yes.
That many years ago. So it's it's a fantastic series. My entire family has played that series. And I know, one of the articles Elliot did for the site was about Borderlands 3.
I think my first one.
Yeah,
I love
fantastic
that game.
games. So this is, I won't get into it, but I think I remember what Sark's talking about here. So Sark is a true military man, long-term military man. And for Modern Warfare 2, if this is what you're talking about, Sark, you can tell me yes in the chat. Basically, his local GameStop wanted people to dress up for Modern Warfare 2 midnight launch.
Oh, yeah.
And so, kind of got hyped. And so he went all out, actual military gear, right?
Yes.
All dressed to the nines, he said. And he shows up and no one else, no one had anything on in terms of military gear. And he said he just wanted to kill the managers there. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
That's even worse. We had the cops called on us because working at GameStop. We had midnight and we had to keep everyone outside.
Sure.
No one could be inside the store. So like these people were in the store that I worked in was like a rich area, but when they saw a bunch of kids wearing military gear, the cop came right over.
Wait a minute. Starcoat, do you recognize Steve by any chance?
He's not in New York.
You look kind of familiar. Oh man. Did they give you like a faceplate or something? At least?
That's awesome.
They canceled everything, had to wait in line. Cop. Somebody said, "Really, bro?" Too funny.
Oh, man.
Hey, Chris, thanks for stopping by. One of our avid supporters as well. Fastback from over at the original Next Level Gaming podcast. Our friends over there in Peter, Chris, and Mike. So thank you very much, Chris, man. Appreciate it.
Nice.
All right. Did you grab someone, Dan?
When we hit a button.
Did you hit a button?
I'm hitting a button. All right. Winner is Sergeant Tom.
Sergeant Tom, another supporter. He's definitely been here the whole time and talking about Borderlands as well. Sergeant Tom, congrats, man. Hit me up in DM and I'll get you the code. And thank you again to Lunch Bizzle. Make sure you're following these guys on Twitter as well and being part of that community. So Lunch Bizzle, $60 Xbox credit coming your way. Thanks to Lunch Bizzle. So thanks again. Big one.
Thank you.
Real quick too. I wanted to announce a giveaway of Cyberpunk and Immortals Phoenix Rising. So Immortals is going to, and I had to take a picture. That's why I'm pulling my phone out. So, come on.
Yep. Just screwed everything up. Just have retro every week.
So, so the winner of Immortals, Phoenix Rising is Thomas, who goes by Ordinary Magoo on Twitter.
Nice.
So I will hit him up. He won a Phoenix Rising on Xbox. He's won that. And then for Cyberpunk, the RNG chose Freaky TJ. So another one who, funny enough, it's rare. Like I said before, I've gotten kind of funny these last few giveaways because I recognize these people. Whereas usually a lot of the giveaways, I have no idea who we're giving stuff away to. So Freaky DJ has won Cyberpunk. I don't know what platform, but we'll figure that out. But anyway.
Oh, he's an Xboxer.
Is he?
For sure. Yeah, he just got, he's a good dude. He just got somebody sent him their old One X, I think. So he just got upgraded from the OG Xbox.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So awesome for him, man.
Oh, fantastic. That's perfect then. I did not know that. So that's great. Good.
Perfect.
So, okay, awesome. So, that's really the major topics I wanted to cover. Any other games, memories, content creation, anything you guys want to touch on before I kind of get to talking about what's coming up?
I didn't talk about my games.
Go for it.
That's why you're here.
I only have a few.
Oxenfree, right?
Oxenfree.
Oxenfree.
Yeah. Yep. I can tell you what it's not. It's not Monster Hunter World. What?
Doesn't make any sense.
All right, it's only a few, okay? Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
What about Lost Legacy?
Oh, I did like that. Okay, that we can add that too. And the one on the Vita, Golden Abyss.
Yeah, Golden Abyss. That was good.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Unity, Origins, Odyssey, Skyrim, Dragon Age, Inquisition, Detroit Become Human. I like a lot of more of the modern games.
Nice.
Rather than older games.
So I see you said Unity, Origins, and Odyssey, but not Valhalla.
Good choice. But she
Okay,
hasn't finished
okay.
it yet, so she's biding her time. She's
not
doing
gonna-
it the right way.
Some of the missions in that game are so fun and awesome, but then
Yeah. I'm agreeing.
like I'm playing Immortals, because I'm doing the review for it, and it's better than Valhalla.
It's so much better.
It's so good.
It's so much better. It blows my mind that the same publisher put out these two games. Like, I don't know how you go.
Well, they're
3
completely
months in
different
a row.
studios.
I understand that, but it's like Watch Dogs garbage, Valhalla trash, and then you come out with this game that nobody even thought of.
Trash.
You know
He
what
gave it a 7. I mean, to be fair.
I didn't stutter. So, and then you come out with Phoenix, and it's just like, man, what in the hell? This is fantastic. They did a really good job. Crazy
It
game.
is the Odyssey team though, so
It's the Odyssey team.
Yeah, Ubisoft Quebec.
There
I
you
think
go.
it is.
Makes sense now. Yep.
We see it a lot, right? Different development studios under the same publisher can have very different.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a very stark difference in quality a lot of times.
Oh, The Last of Us Part 1. Let's be specific.
Yes.
God of War.
God of War, incredible.
I'm not going to game. I'm going to go back to The Last of Us when I eventually find stock for a PS5, but let's not go there either.
You don't want kitty litter or water instead?
And I got to this now, Carl. Can I talk to you about Turrican too?
There you go.
Thank you so much. That's funny. What's the? I have to say Witcher 3. I'm just gonna put that out there because I know someone said Witcher, but there's a reason that Geralt's sitting right there. I don't know why Carl's shaking his head.
I turned it on. This is my daughter's PC, and she's got a gaming PC in her bedroom. I'll just play. I just want to see what it looks like. And she was like, "It's rubbish. Can I put Robux back on?" And I just went, "Sorry."
That's probably the worst thing I've heard in my entire life, and I've been through some shit. Oh man. All right. So okay. So I think what we'll do then is I just want to call out a few things that are coming up. So we've got I think we've kind of casually mentioned a lot of things upcoming. So more reviews coming. If you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of reviews and articles hitting up lately. A lot of next gen stuff. We've got so Dan's review of Valhalla is up there. I wouldn't recommend reading it.
Before you buy the game.
Miles Morales, Greedfall, not Greedfall, excuse me, Godfall, another legendary game.
Speaking of Greedfall, Angela, you should play that game once you're done with Immortals. I think you'd like it because it's Greedfall. It's on Game Pass now.
I have it.
Yeah. Oh, you played it?
I'm like 4 or 5 hours in.
Great game. It's like Inquisition.
I like it. Inquisition was amazing.
Greedfall is
an amazing game. Yeah. Bizzle, what are you doing, brother? Too generous, Bizzle. Too generous, my friend. Congrats on 5 years. Have to take off and get some stuff done. Great seeing all you great people together. Have a wonderful rest of the show. Valhalla. There you go. Too generous today, man. Honestly, thank you so much for all the support. It's uncalled for, but greatly appreciated. Yes.
Fantastic.
What was I going to say? So yes, Angela is working on the review for Immortals. I think that goes up tomorrow, right?
He gives me these fake deadlines that don't exist, and then I panic.
Speaking of panic, I'm doing the review for Cyberpunk. Look for that in March. Because I have no idea how you're even supposed to attempt reviewing that game. In fact, I'm going to put out a statement because I believe that's going to be our first ever kind of review in progress. Because it's just going to be impossible to review that game in any kind of short time period. And by the way, I'll just go ahead and make the statement here. The main outlet, Terminals, which is for the press to get codes and whatnot, has not sent out any Cyberpunk codes yet. The game comes out in 4 days. For a game as big as Cyberpunk, and for vast majority of outlets not to have gotten codes yet, if you see any reviews pop up end of next week, disregard them, because they're not going to be good reviews or honest reviews outside of maybe a handful of people. It's going to be some time. We got a couple more super chats real quick. Thanks so much, guys, for the content and the humor. You're welcome, Sergeant Tom. Thank you for the super chat. And congrats on the $60 code. I will get you shortly. And Pampa with a $7 super chat. Yep. Shaking my head, Dan.
You can't take it, man. You can't take the 7 heat.
I agree with the 7, by the way.
See?
I agree with Dan's 7.
Game. Yeah, it's a good game that does nothing new except it's in England. And
you know what the problem is? You know the problem is I played Ghost of Tsushima, and that game handled like a dream. Handled like a dream. And then you get to Valhalla, and you're like, dude, like Sucker Punch out did you? Like in your own game.
Let me talk to you about Ghost of Tsushima. That's going to be above The Last of Us 2 in the Game Awards.
You think?
Oh,
I don't think so.
It's already winning
anyone's game.
Player vote.
Anyone's game. Like Hades was so good. I loved Hades, but I know that's not going to win. And then
Animal Crossing.
Not win. Animal Crossing deserved it. Animal Crossing. My wife is a diehard Animal Crossing fan, and that game brought people together in a way that no other game has.
That is
that game. I played it for it was not my type of game, clearly, but I appreciate what that game did. So I have family members who bought a Switch just for that game. And that's it. They don't play anything else. They just played that game because everyone else was. That game, it brought people together. There were streamers who were giving away their codes for different things, onions or some shit like that. I can't remember the name of it.
Onions.
But whatever it was called, turnips. That's what it was. My wife became a stockbroker, a Wall Street stockbroker when it came to turnips. It was insane. She's like, this guy has them on sale for $4.50. I gotta go. Can you watch the baby for 5 minutes? I gotta go to this island. And I'm like, sure. Why not? And that game changed a lot of people. There's some amazing places that people are making in that. It's outstanding, and I believe it deserves it over anything else. But Ghost of Tsushima, I want that game to win so bad.
We'll see. Are we doing our personal games of the year right now, or we're
not doing anything? We just kind of wandered off into a space.
Yeah,
we're having a whole new show on that, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're doing.
I was going to mention that, but if you got something to say, feel free to say it.
Well, one game that I think, it will never win the game of the year, and games like it will never win game of the year, but
Monster
it might
Hunter
be my favorite. It is not Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
No, that came out last year. Would have been mine last. But no, it's Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4 is just one of those little games that only takes a couple hours to go through it, and it will never be a game of the year. But I think that's so unfortunate because that's an awesome game. I know a lot of people enjoy that game, but it's not 60 hours and a huge kind of thing, so
yeah.
But
that's
that
a great
might
game.
Be my personal. That might be my personal because it's just fun to play.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was agreeing with you to say that it's they did such a great homage, right? I mean, that's what that game is, and it plays like you would expect, but with the modern kind of feel.
Yep.
I actually played through that entire game beginning to end with Cog from Iron Lords in co-op. And
love Cog.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy, and we had a blast, man, because he works a different shift where he gets home early in the morning, and I was waking up before work, and 6 a.m. we were playing in co-op every morning, and we finished it over a few days. It was just a blast. It's awesome. I was laughing while Steve was talking, not because of what you were saying, but because of this comment from Sarko.
Oh,
damn.
Harsh.
That game won't win. It's too decisive.
I don't know. If I was a betting man, I would say it's going to win, but we'll see.
I'm
Now,
with on that one. Yeah.
I
now,
quoted Sarko. My article.
yeah. Speaking of Last of Us 2, yes, that's what Angela's article is on, which you will see this week. So it'll be fun. What was I going to say? So speaking of awards, yes, we've got something special cooking for this group. So we're going to do the first ever Season Gaming Awards. And unlike that Keeley guy, we're going to do it properly, which means we're going to wait until the year's over so that we can actually give awards for the entire year. It's a novel concept. We're going to try it. Because primarily when the number one game of the year releases in December, it should be part of the goddamn conversation. So after
Monster Hunter
Cyberpunk
doesn't come out until next
Should
year.
have fallen order.
So Cyberpunk releases next week. We will be doing the SG Awards for 2020 in early January after everything releases. And there's going to be, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 categories probably. We've got some awards that I'm working on with Diego. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this whole crew is going to, including Cloud, is going to kind of vote. And I've got to figure out a good system for that yet. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's in the works. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited about that. First ever. Beautiful. So anyway, stay tuned because we've got a lot of articles coming up soon. I know, Steve, you got a Destiny 2 one out there, which I'm actually going to write about as well because I've been playing the hell out of Destiny, which I didn't think I would say again. But yeah, lots of articles coming, new reviews. I mean, there's just been a lot of fantastic content from you guys. And, you know, I was going to kind of script something up to say, but I figured I'd just kind of go off the cuff. But no, Dan kind of said it earlier. It's been an amazing year, and it's been great getting to know all of you. It's really bizarre to me, but in a good way, that somehow coming out of 2019, SG was kind of, to Dan's point, was kind of not struggling because the viewership was still continuing to rise. But I didn't know what was next. And over the course of this year, I've met all of you. You've become kind of, contributors to the site in one way or another. And we've kind of all, we've got our chat and we talk on a daily basis. And it's just really, really become something special. And it's weird to me. The bizarre part is to pull 9 people or 10 people together randomly from all over the place and to just kind of gel so well, personality wise. I think, I don't know how that happened. I don't know. I don't know how we got so lucky, but I think that's amazing. And it's been a real pleasure for me to get to read what you guys put out and see what you put out and kind of help you in different ways wherever I can and just kind of see the growth. So it's fantastic. And I expect even bigger things in next year. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
that's my piece. So Dizzy, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Seconded that whole thing, what you just said. It was awesome.
Yeah, go ahead. Open forum. Oh, sorry. Carl, you raised your hand. I thought you were going to say something.
No, I said I third that because it is awesome. We speak on we speak on a daily basis. There's a lot of gaming content out on there, and I can just see this just growing legs for another English term, and it expanding more and again more traction, more. There's going to be everything's going to improve. And to go back to something that has already been identified, we've got a massively diverse group of people who have strengths in different areas, and as a group, we just have probably one of the better engines when it comes to delivering a real honest opinion about the gaming community. We're not just seasoned gaming; we could cover everything, but it's become a machine, and it's become something more than the sum of its parts, and it's really good. It really is.
Well said. Yeah, well said. I think I told someone the other day, I don't know who it was now because so many conversations, but I said, on a day-to-day basis from knowledge base and content quality, I'll put us up against anyone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, name someone. I'll have that debate anytime. Because I just think to your point, we're just very diverse. And I think it makes for great content, which is just very fortunate, like I said, for us to have come together. So it's awesome.
Absolutely.
Amen. Yep.
Yeah. Amen.
right, well, we're gonna get out, but I want to allow kind of a moment for each of you to kind of give a shout out. Why are you laughing?
Fucking Mo. Kotaku.
God
Uh,
Thank you, Mo.
damn.
I mean, I could say this again, but Kotaku can suck it.
I'm still bitter. I'm still bitter after 7 years.
But I was going
man.
to say, I want each of you to just kind of shout out where people can find you too, because there's a lot of listeners, on the audio version, like we know. So just, I'll go around the horn again. Just give a shout out where you guys, whatever you want to call out. So Steve, I'll start with you, man.
Cool. Well, you can find me on Twitter at Agitated Stove. That is also my handle on PlayStation, Xbox, anything. You find someone with that name, 99% chance it's me. So that just to let you know.
Pornhub, OnlyFans.
Of course. Anywhere.
Coming in January 2021.
I haven't got fired from my job yet. So the OnlyFans, when that happens, you know why. But you find me anywhere over there. You'll also find me in the background of my wife's streams on Twitch. She's at Rissa, or find her at Rissa Rants on Twitter. But you'll find me through there as well. So that's where you'll find me.
Sweet. Elliot.
Yeah, you can find my YouTube channel, youtube.com/directgaming, and that's direct with a C and a K. Hit me up on Twitter at directgaming. Listen to my podcast, Controllers and Coffee, as well. It's on everything, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. And yeah, I'd love the support. And can I just say thanks to all of you, but especially Ains and Dan. Like, seriously, this has just been a great community to be part of, and I just love it. It really means a lot. So cheers. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Indeed.
Dan, where can we find you?
You guys, I mean, if you're not following me right now, then don't worry about it. You're fine.
Wherever there's free stuff.
Yeah, that's it. And catch me every Saturday here, as long as I'm still alive, and we'll talk about some games. That's what I do.
I still remember the first time we became regular, and at the end of the show, I was like, Dan, what do you want to shout out? Where can we find you? You're like, here.
Yeah. I have nothing. Yeah, I don't need to promote myself. I need less followers. And I need to go down.
Anti-social network.
Yeah, that's what I need. I keep my circle, very, very small. So this is basically you guys and basically some people in the chat. So it's nothing personal. Just that way I avoid most of the garbage. So I'm here every Saturday. Come and talk in the chat. I have no problem.
There you go.
We'll chat it up.
Nice comment from Diego here. Congrats on 5 years again. It's actually been a breath of fresh air and fantastic podcast. Feels like family hanging out at a barbecue. Love all you guys. It's awesome. Perfect.
Beautiful.
And Diego, you're part of the SG crew too.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. And Real Sergeant Tom as well. But seriously, have fun during this crazy time stuck at home. Thanks again for the laughs and interaction on Twitter, of course. Appreciate it. Indeed. Angela.
You can find me on Twitter at AKA Phasma. And like I say, every podcast, don't have me on PlayStation or Xbox because I won't have that. But seriously, Ames and Dan, thank you guys for bringing me on your show and also for letting me write for you. It means a lot.
Listen, I do. You guys need to understand. I do nothing. It's 99% Ames. I just show up and have a chat with a buddy. That's my thing. Love it. I'm the show guy. That's throw a couple promotions out there every once in a while and retweets.
That could mean a lot of different things. So
but seriously, I'm honored, and it's truly an honor to write for you guys. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Elu, editor in behind the scenes chief.
Sure, there you go. I'm Elu Spook everywhere on Twitter. Elu Spook. I got my haikus of the day on there. All of my gaming systems, I'm Elu Spook. So that's kind of followed me through it since my Navy days. I've got a book coming out to promote myself early next year called Prism: Relics of the Fallen. Check
And
that
it's
out.
great.
Thanks, Vaz. That's really all I got. I'm me. I'm Elu Spook. Love to write for you guys. Love you all. Glad to be a part of it.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. And yes, if you weren't aware, Elu does, like I said, I think I said at the start of the show, when we have something that's a kind of a deeper topic, like my article yesterday, actually, I typically do most of the editing, but when I really want proper professional editing, it goes to Elu, because he knows what he's doing on a serious note. And yes, he's writing a series of novels that he will be launching, as he said, in 2021. So stay tuned for that. We'll be promoting it. And as Angela said, he gave some of us a preview of that. Angela, you read it just like the past couple weeks, right?
I read it. Yeah, I read it last week, and it took me only a few days, but I mean, it's great. It's fantastic, honestly.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
So fantastic. Carl.
I'm me. So you can find me OSTX 78. That's not my date of birth. It might be. OSTX 78 on Twitter. Now and again, you might find me dispensing justice on Wannabe Text Guy. Tech. but other than that, I'm just me.
It's fantastic. And like I said, yes, our resident tech head for sure. So if anything comes out that is very tech focused, including your recent article breaking down the PS5 and Series X hardware, that's coming from your realm, which is awesome.
Nice.
And last but not least, Pork Pants, better known as Nate.
Yes. Primarily on Twitter at Nator MVP, Nator. Like I said, I'm not too active on Twitch right now, so I'll leave that silent. If I'm going to plug something, I'm definitely very big into Extra Life. We just did our gaming marathon. It's awesome charity if you guys haven't heard about it. Website is extra-life.org. I've been doing it for 9 years. I know Ains and maybe some other guys are involved with that as well.
Yep.
So that's my plug.
Fantastic. Can they find your page on your Twitter profile?
Yes. Yeah, I have a link on my Twitter.
Perfect. And yes, funny enough, you probably haven't seen them, but right here, Extra Life medals. In the past couple of years, it is a fantastic charity. It's one of the ones we definitely support between Extra Life, Able Gamers, and Special Effects. With Special Effects out of the UK as well. Just great people all around. So yes, definitely check those out for sure. All right, man. We got one more super chat from Pampa. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't end with a super chat from Pampa. Feels weird not to do $5. Awesome people. Congrats on 5 years and many more. #SG. Thank you, guys, man. Thank you. It's been a blast, man. Thanks all of you for joining. Like I said, we've got to do this more often. We'll obviously talk about that offline. But thanks to all of you for an amazing year. I'm really already looking forward to the SG Awards show. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll figure that out. However the hell we're going to do that. And for the chat and anyone listening, thanks for your support. It means an awful lot. There's a lot of podcasts out there, a lot of sites that range from god awful to fantastic. And for you guys to spend time, and there's only so much time in a day, so it's hard to support all these different outlets, right? But for you guys that are always here with us, it's really, really appreciated, sincerely. So thank you guys. For now, that was our Bitcast special for 5 years. It's been a lot of fun, but we will all catch you soon and definitely catch up with us. So until then, and Dan, it wouldn't be an episode without me not
forgot
having
it
the
again?
outro ready.
Jeez.
But here it goes. Peace.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.